Let's get ready to ramble.
Good evening, friends. Welcome to Ramblings of a Middle-Aged Card Collector. I hope you enjoyed the new intro video. It was a lot of fun putting that together.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh, I hope I don't laugh the first time it comes on, but hey, I hope you all enjoy it. There he is, the legend himself.
Yeah. He's a star.
All right, guys. So welcome to the show tonight. On episode 14, Behind the Brushstrokes, the art and illustration of Myles Wohl. We will dive into the stories behind the sketches, the paint, and the passion that fuels the art we all love. I'm joined by an artist whose work bridges fine art and pop culture, someone who paints worlds filled with myth, fantasy, and larger-than-life heroes. From oil-painted originals to dynamic superhero portrait, he's built a distinctive portfolio that resonates with both collectors and fans of original art and cards alike. Joining me is the illustrator and painter, Myles Wohl. Welcome, my friend.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's awesome.
Very
I can't
cool.
seem to connect my YouTube account to join the chat, so I'll just have to answer people like live rather than trying to type. Which would
You're good. You're good.
Anyway.
Yeah, and that's a perfect point for everybody. If you have any kind of questions or things you want to point out to Myles, please feel free to post them in the chat, and we will share them. Appreciate you all hanging out. Yeah, I do not have a hat on tonight. First night without a hat, so we're just jamming. We're gonna push through it. Sorry for the delay on the show tonight. Make sure to hit pound ramble on throughout the show. Tonight's giveaway will be an OAX 2025 blank.
Ooh,
I will ship that out to you guys.
those
So
are like
good
gold.
luck. Yeah. Good luck, guys. Good luck. I enjoy sharing in the wealth of the passion of getting a free sketch or on floor show commission if you're possible for going OAX. And don't forget, this weekend is Comic Art Live. Very cool. I'm getting a few mystery sketches, so make sure to check those out. I'm looking forward to watching it and seeing if they show any of them and guessing if those are mine or not until they arrive on my doorstep. So check it out all weekend. A lot of cool. Yeah, pound ramble on. That's what you got to do, guys. All right, so Myles, let's just jump right into it. Take us back a bit. What first got you started on this path?
Oof. Yeah, that's a long story because I'm getting old. So back
Aren't we
when
all,
I
right?
was back in the late 80s, early 90s, it was comic books. You know, I was buying Wolverine, X-Men. It was the Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Todd McFarlane era, and it sucked me in. I had all the comics; they were all ruined because I would just open them up and I would just like go through every page and draw every drawing in the comics.
Oh, that's awesome.
redraw the covers, whatever. I had them all over my walls. And I at the time I thought I'm going to be a comic book penciler. This is all I want to do. But then you get the whisperings in your ear. You don't want to be a starving artist. What's your real job going to be? That kind of stuff. And so I didn't take that path for a long time. I wound up, due to some weird family stuff, wound up just like moving out and moving in with my friend at age 19. I slept on his floor in his apartment next to his bed like I was his little freaking puppy or something. But it was like $150 a month, working 2 jobs. And then I went a totally different way. I went to software. I took some exams and got some certifications, and I was in software for 20 plus years.
Wow.
But basically, like, I started out as a software engineer, and there's some creativity there. You're building stuff, you're creating things that become something. You write the code and it becomes this thing. But then as I moved up into management and upper management and whatnot, all that creativity went away, and then this thing that I had buried, back in the back of my head that I always wanted to do started to surface again. I was like, hey, is this what you want to do with the rest of your life? Why don't you come back to this other thing that you used to love that you really wanted to do? So I think around 2015, I want to say, I really started to like get back into it. And it wasn't to be a penciler. I discovered some YouTube videos and started to grab a paintbrush, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do this. And then from there, I just, I'd go to work. I'd work my 45, 50 hours a week, and I would carve out another 20 hours on nights and weekends trying to work on being a better artist. And
Wow.
did that for, about 8 years to build my experience and try to get to know some people in the industry. And 2021, I finally went full time with my art. So this is year 4 now.
What? That's
Long story.
that's crazy. Wow, I didn't know you had that much background in software. That's cool. I'm in telecommunications, and I deal with a lot of like scripting and stuff with that with work. So it's pretty cool to know.
Yeah, I did a lot of SQL and VB script and all kinds of stuff. I was in management by the time the team switched over to like C# and more object-oriented programming. So I only knew enough to be dangerous. At that point, I was like director and then VP of engineering, and it was just like, I'm not coding anymore. Now I'm trying to manage, 100 people.
Yeah.
So, but it wears on you. You go into meetings all day. You don't feel like you're doing anything except like herding cats. And so it's just like, I need to do something that I can touch and feel and actually contribute to this thing that I loved, as a kid and always wanted to be a part of. So it was no secret at work either. Like the last 5 years, everyone knew like there's going to come a day when Myles is leaving because I want to do this thing,
Wow.
So
that's so cool to hear that, man. So you had a passion and you followed it, and look where it took you.
Yeah, man. That's just, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's just always been like my thing. I see a brick wall and I just keep smashing my head into it until it caves in, my head or the brick wall, one or the other, then maybe both.
Yeah. So Robert's asking, so self-taught.
Yeah. So initially, I never went to like art school or formal training or anything like that. The first thing I discovered was Jeff Miracola. He's a magic artist. I discovered his YouTube videos in like, I want to say 2015-ish, around that time frame. Maybe it was 2016. And he had this one where he had a magic painting that they wanted to go a different direction on, but he always wanted to paint the original sketch. And then it was the first time like I actually could watch someone do an illustration from start to finish. And I had no idea how to do this before that. And in the old days, before YouTube, the old days, you'd have to like find a mentor and go over to their studio and, train with that person. And that's how it was done traditionally forever. Right.
Yeah. Take like an art class.
School.
Yeah.
But YouTube, it's right there. It's there for everybody. So I'm watching this and, he's basically, virtually, I lived with Jeff Miracola because my wife was just always hearing his voice in the background while I'm watching these things and trying to do them step by step. It was rough at the start, but I learned a lot. And then after that, I started going to some workshops. I went to a couple of Jeff's workshops, and then I found Smart School, which is where Dan DeSantos teaches. And I took a course from Dan in 2017. That really changed a lot for me. Dan's been a major influence and mentor in my work, in my life. And took a mentorship with Dave Palumbo.
Legends.
Yeah, just the legends, right? And absorbed as much as I could, and then try to take that fire hose of knowledge and turn it into something. But yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's paid off. I mean, things are going well right now, and if anybody out there is trying to be an artist, it's just keep working. That's the answer. Just keep working.
Yeah, and that's great advice, and not just anything. I mean, everything that you can think of is on YouTube. I mean, from learning how to like change a tire to doing some, painting, and look what you did in 4 years, what you were able to accomplish with, determination and just hitting your, like you were saying, hitting your head against the wall until it stuck or you just found it. And that's an accomplishment, and it's not just art. So if you find something, you have a passion, go for it. Find someone you think is a good mentor on YouTube that you can get those videos from, and go for it.
Yeah, and I can't think of a better time than now, like, because if you want to learn anything, it's on YouTube. I was trying to, figure out how to, fix something on my car, and it's like, oh, it's on YouTube, whatever. But like, whatever you want to do, you can learn it because the resources are out there. And then also we're more connected than ever, right? Like I would just reach out to an artist and ask them a question. Maybe they wouldn't answer, but if they did, great. And then all of a sudden you're talking to an artist, an industry artist, right? So, we're also so much more connected now than we used to be. So take advantage of that, I'd say.
That is totally true. I mean, and that's such great advice. And wow, yeah. I mean, Dan DeSantos is one of the reasons I got back into Marvel cards was because
Yeah.
of Marvel Masterpieces. And then when I got back in, I was like, oh my God, there's all these back sets. And then I learned about Dave Palumbo. And I mean, I knew about Joe Jusko, but there was so much more that I didn't know about. And it was due to him and his art style that brought me into it. And I mean, looking at my Man Thing and other pieces that you've done and the ones we're going to look through tonight, because we have a bunch of beautiful pieces up that we're going to be sharing tonight. Myles is going to be going through them and giving us cool details and tidbits about them. So make sure to stay through for that.
Yeah, you mentioned Joe Jusko. I actually, because I took some time, like cards were a thing in the early 90s, and then they overproduced everything, and then I kind of got away from it for a little bit when I was in software, and then I was getting back into it and getting into this. I went back and went to look at what I have, and I have so many of those cards, and I have like signed cards and stuff. So I used to go to Comic Cons all the time in the early 90s and just wait in lines and stuff like that. So like I didn't realize I was surprised how many cards I had and how many of them I had signed.
Wow, that's so cool, man. That's such a cool circle to come back and be working on those, Marvel cards and sets, and that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Gabriel asked, "Is that all my art on the back wall?"
Yeah.
The stuff directly behind me here is, but the stuff over there is not. Up there is Dave Palumbo, one of his pieces from Marvel Masterpieces. It's the Bullseye versus Hawkeye.
Nice.
And then over here is a commission I got from Lucio Perillo of Magneto.
Oh, really cool, really cool. And what are those cards right behind you in the middle?
Yeah, the cards directly behind me are my Marvel Platinum cards from Upper Deck. Have the base card and then the cover. I love the cover treatment. And then the one on the odd one on the bottom is the creator art variant Thor one.
Very cool.
And above that is the newest piece that was just revealed from Upper Deck, but we can get a better look at that once we start.
Yeah, we definitely are. We definitely are. And our boy Pulling Fire before mentioned wouldn't it'd be really cool if you were the first Marvel Masterworks artist. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to see. Because that's what Topps
What is
calls
Marvel Masterwork?
Yeah, that's Topps's version of Marvel Masterpieces.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't aware of that. So thank you for that.
or he's just playing dumb, guys. We never know. You never know.
No, that would be awesome.
We know he's been real busy.
But I would love that. It's funny because I've heard all the stories from Dan because I was taking his class, because this was when I took it the second time, was when he was finishing up that set. And he would tell us about how, a painting is 3 days for him. He had to do 3 days per painting. That's it, which is extremely fast for an oil painting. And like he had to do that for almost 2 years. And, so in my head, whenever I'm painting, whenever I'm working on a project, I'm thinking like, am I working at a Marvel Masterpieces speed? What if they called me tomorrow to do that? Would I be able to crank them out that fast? That's like the bar I'm always thinking about. Am I at that bar? Can I get to that bar? How far am I from that bar? So it's fun to think about things like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can only think of what the next 4 years are going to bring, bro. I mean, keep going for it. Keep going. I mean, every time you put something on your Patreon, and we're going to talk about that too, guys. If you're not following his Patreon, it's not that much a month. Check it out. There's a lot of really cool videos he does. We're going to touch base on those later, but I enjoy watching them. It's really fun. The way he talks about it, what's going on, and just the beautiful art, how you see it just go from a blank or a sketch in a way, or like an outline, and then what it comes to by the end of the quick video is awesome. It's good editing and video work too. Very good. Yeah.
I really enjoy making those videos too. It's just time, right? They take time.
Yeah.
And normally I'm at the easel, or shipping something or whatever, all the different things, dealing with clients. And so, it's finding time to do more of that, but I really want to. I have a bunch of stuff recorded I have to edit and get out there. I like doing the videos, but also really like doing like the long form ones that are more like almost like a blog post where I'm showing like the reference and how I got from the start of the idea all the way to the final painting, and posting silly pictures of me like dressed up for taking reference photos and stuff like that. that's a lot of fun behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people, I would never post that on my Instagram, like me in my underwear posting for, for a scene, but for Patreon, hey, you guys are paying, you're going to get the unfiltered version.
That's fine. That's what we're there for, man. It's fun. I enjoy those. And especially when you do the longer in-depth ones, you could just tell what you put into them, and that you're enjoying doing it. It's just the production, right? Production is a lot, you're not only are you doing that piece of work, the art, but now you're setting up a camera, you're making sure that the frames are right, instead of just pausing to go eat, now you actually have to pause and then edit the video to clip it all together. So it's a lot. So when we as fans see an artist go over and do all of that, we're just like, oh, that's top notch. You know what I mean?
Cool,
so it is appreciated. So, and like I said, it's known when you could see when somebody's enjoying it, you could hear it when they're talking about it. And I enjoy those a lot. And you know what? I'm going to just touch base now and say, hey guys, when the YouTube channel hits 300 subscribers, we'll be doing a live giveaway wheel. And the giveaway for the 300 slot is the Myles Wohl thing sketch he did. This was on his Patreon. This was actually a gift. So thank you, Myles. It's greatly appreciated. We all appreciate it on the show. I appreciate it greatly. And when we never do, we never know when we will, but when we hit 400, will be the Myles Wohl Dr. Doom sketch.
I really like that one.
Me too. This was my favorite. Really happy with this. This was awesome when I saw this up on his Patreon. You did these during San Diego Comic-Con, is that correct? Before San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah, I did them. Yeah, just before San Diego Comic-Con. It's interesting because it's something I've been messing with. I like to do oil paintings, like that's my thing, right? Yeah. But not everybody can afford an oil painting, and they take a lot of time, right? So they cost a lot. And so, I sell my sketch card oil paintings, and you're talking hundreds of dollars, $500 or more dollars. So I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, but basically, I like trying these ink studies or these profile pictures or maybe some watercolor pieces, and I'm messing around with different ideas, but I want to see if I can find something that I really like and also people like, that I can sell at a lower price point for, let's say you're buying it for your kid or something like that, so we can get more people into art and get more original art in the hands of people who want to collect it, and they don't have to wait until they can cross the higher hurdle. We can have a smaller hurdle first.
And I love that because that's exactly how I got into this, was because of Myles. I walked up to the booth, awesome booth you had at OAX.
Thank you.
At that moment, I was like, I don't know if I could afford what I would want. And I didn't know if I could take that leap, feeling confident with whatever artist it was. I was just like, oh, it's a lot of money to do. It's my centerpiece is my Myles Wohl man thing. All the other artists I love, of course, no shade thrown anywhere, but I'm just saying that's my centerpiece because it's overpowering. Like he's just the way you did the man thing. So, but the way my entrance is I got pulled into I got known by your work through Platinum, right? And then you were on Friends streams and stuff, and I was on streams with them on their show. You were there. It was a lot of fun to just get to know you, and then to meet you at OAX, like actually in person, and how down to earth and chill you are. It was just made it so much cooler. Thanks, but what got me into original art was your booth. I walked up, and to this day, my favorite sketches that you do, I love your oil painting pieces, dude. I ain't saying they're immaculate. They're insane. I think everyone should try to own one at some point. Make sure to go to his Patreon and look for whenever he drops blanks or whenever possible. But the watercolor or mixed media pieces you did that were just simple, such a attainable price point. How flexible and available you were post OAX to do more of that style. And when I showed it to people at the villa or at the hotel or during the show, people were like, I hope Myles does more of these or
That's cool.
something like it. Like the reception that I got from that style, and even when the commissions I got from you afterwards in that style, post OAX, people are still like, oh my God, I love the way you did it. I saw you did a magic one.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, that's a sick piece, man. You know, like it got to a point where I was like, I'm gonna try to get all these, you know. And I actually got a real big chunk of a bunch of the original, you know,
You
like
have
first
most
came
of them.
out.
I haven't done very many of those.
I know, there's a few out there. I gotta get them, but no, I'm kidding. I hope everyone loves them. I think they're amazing. I hope you do more.
Thank you.
I love that you're this tier artist, right? But you're so down to earth, you're so approachable, and there's availability to get a piece of your work at different. It's not like you're doing a different, like, oh, you're only going to pay this, so I'm going to do this type of work. No, it's just like you picked it, like you just found another niche to hit in these watercolor styles that no one else I'm feeling is hitting that exact style for me, because I like the watercolor mixed media. So I'm just like, I love the way they look, especially when you do like the splat, like a simple splash of a background or whatever. It just adds that more depth to the card. So I hope to see more of those. I noticed you do something like those during the show, like these were for SDCC on your Patreon. And that's another thing I'd like to give the audience a tip on, is that whenever you, like around the time of a show, I notice that after the show, whatever you didn't sell on the show floor, you put on your Patreon.
I do, yeah.
Right?
Because I don't those, those are kind of like I do those specifically for shows for that reason of trying to have something that's at a more affordable price point to offer at shows for people who are coming. But it's not something I'm going to offer like on my website or like advertise, because it's not really what I do. It's not what I want to market to commercial, clients and stuff like that, right? So the best place to put that is like, hey, these are the ones I have left over from the show. If anybody on my Patreon wants them, let me know. So that's where I tend to put them, and then I'll just bring them to the next show if nobody picks them up or whatever. But usually they do.
They do, and they do quick. Your pre-sketches sell out. Your OAX pre-show commission sold out almost that night, right? It sold out immediately.
Actually, they let an extra one sneak through, and I told the guy, I was like, I think I can do this, so let's say yes on this, but I'll let you know if I run into an issue.
Awesome. That's cool. But like I was saying, so just the being able to get a sketch that was like $100 to $150 at your booth led me to then later at the end of the show go, I know I wasn't able to get one at the show, but I have this idea of a man thing. And then we talked like a week or two after the show, and then I did it. I dived in head first, and I was like, I'm getting my first, OA piece, and my first artist is Myles. So I was so happy with it, man.
Thank you. I'm honored. Super honored.
I'm honored. You know what I mean? Because some of the pieces we're going to see tonight are awesome. I mean, one of the Joker and Batman one you did is probably one of my favorite pieces. So
thank you.
So now that you said that you never saw this as a career and you're only 4 years in, what are your goals? Like, is there like a company that you want to work for that you haven't worked for, or like what are you looking forward to doing in the next 4 years?
Yeah. So a lot of so basically when I first started doing this, I had some dream companies in mind. And I'm working for one of those companies right now. And there's two others that I really want to do, and that's Marvel and DC, right? I've done Marvel and DC stuff, but I mean covers for, comic covers for Marvel and DC. To me, that's kind of like the top of the hill of where I want to go, that Eric Gist world.
Yeah.
Another guy I really look up to, who's awesome, who's helped me so much as well.
Good people. Yeah.
And, and I'd love to do that someday. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't, we'll see, but I'll keep working towards that, and hopefully it comes to fruition.
Awesome. I hope it does too, man, because that'd be great opportunities, and those companies be missing out if they didn't. I think what you would come up with would be amazing, and I'd be looking forward to see it.
Gabriel, I'm not sure if I understand the question. Are you asking like how long I worked before they allowed me to do it, or how long does it take me to do a piece? I'm not sure if I understand the question. I can answer them both though. I worked for Upper Deck. I started working for Upper Deck in 2017, doing sketch cards. I think my first set was a Guardians of the Galaxy set, and then maybe a Thor Ragnarok. I think those are the first two sets I did sketch cards for. Don't look up those sketch cards. Oh man, they're rough. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do at the time. It was before I felt I'd done my first oil painting in 2016, so it's before I felt comfortable enough to do that, for in mass for sketch cards or anything like that. And so, I was doing inks and Copic markers, and I don't know if I was I don't know if I was very good at it, but I did what I could, and I liked it. And hopefully people who have those cards like them. But I did that for a while, and then I switched to oils eventually in 2020. I think I did my first set in oils. And then it was 2022 when they asked me, well, I asked them over and over again, and they finally agreed in 2022 to work on Marvel Platinum, which didn't come out until 2024. But it had been 2 years since I painted those pieces. And then how long does it take me? I like to allot at least 2 weeks for an oil painting, but sometimes it's 3 or a little bit more, depending on the complexity of the piece. And, sometimes you just run into a roadblock and it takes a little longer. Sometimes it goes smooth and it's faster though. So, so I say 2 weeks on average for, a card piece like that,
Okay. Yeah, good questions. Good questions. So you've got like a unique blend of all your influences. Your work feels like it belongs in a comic book or on a cover of a comic book, but it also has the depth and technique of a fine art oil painting. How did your hybrid style develop?
Yeah, the comic influence has definitely been there from the start. Like I said, with Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, and Todd McFarlane, those guys. And just because of what I consume, I love comics. I've always loved comics and comic movies and cartoons and like all that stuff. So that's there. That's in my bones. But then when I studied mostly learning from people who did like illustration work. So people who did book covers and magic cards and things that are more narrative. And so, it becomes this blending of the two. And, it's just like what I love combined with what I learned how to do. And then it becomes this thing that meshes together. And sometimes it's hard to do because, part of what the appeal of comics is you look at a character and it could be you, right? But once you like shoot reference and do an oil painting of the character, it can't be you anymore. That's clearly somebody now. It's three-dimensional. It's it's realized, and it's a person, right? And so you have to find a way to walk the line between like how real are you making this? Because if you make it too real, then maybe the user can't see themselves, or the viewer can't see themselves. There's my software engineering.
Your software brain.
But maybe like the viewer can't see themselves in it, which takes away some of the magic of what you look at in a comic book. So I don't know. It's a fine line, I think, between the realism and the fantasy, and you have to find a way to meld that. And I was lucky enough to learn from some of the best in the business, and Dan and Dave and Jeff and some of the others that I've learned from, and hopefully that's working. I don't know.
It's definitely working. It's definitely working. So what draws you to oil painting?
I've tried a few mediums before. I was painting an acrylic paint originally in like 2014, 15 when I started, and I didn't do my first oil painting until 2016. And when I did oils, I was like, this is it. This is what I love. If I can figure out how this works,
Okay.
because it was a mess, but I was like, if I can figure out how this works, this is for me. What it was there's a couple of things. One, just the ability to blend. Acrylic paint always felt like tacky and it would dry so fast. And I was like, oh, I wanted to blend that. And I wasn't able to. And you got to work in really thin layers to get the kind of blending you want, that I wanted. And then when I did oils, I was like, oh, this is great. It's just it's like butter, I'm blending these two colors together, and I got a seamless transition, and that just made me happy to be able to do
Nice.
that. And then also, like, I love the fact that I can be working on a piece and go eat dinner and come back and nothing's changed. Everything's still wet. My paint's still wet. All the pools of paint colors that I mixed are still ready to go. So, I know that's the opposite of why, that's probably why most comic artists don't like doing oils, because the deadlines are fast and they got to get it done. And if stuff's taking forever to dry, that's a real problem. But for me, in my process, I just love it.
That's awesome. I like that a lot. Gabriel's asking, have you done Magic the Gathering?
I mentioned earlier that there was a client that I had always wanted to work for. That client was Wizards of the Coast, and I am working for Wizards. I can't talk about what I've done, but I've been. It's been almost 2 years, a year and a half, almost 2 years now. I've been doing stuff for them, and the release cycles on products are very long.
Yes.
So I absolutely cannot wait. It's going to be in 2026. I know that. And that's all I can really say. Some stuff will be released, and I will be happy.
That's cool to hear, though. My son is really big in the Magic the Gathering. We've been opening up stuff together for a little while now. It was fun to see Dave's stuff in the Spider-Man set.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to finding your stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, Dave mentioned he's going to be in that. He's got more Marvel stuff coming, he said, and that's awesome. I can't wait to see his stuff.
Yeah. And we're not expecting you to say anything that would get you in trouble at all, brother. Not here. That just to hear what you said is enough to be on the edge of my seat going, oh, I can't wait to see what it is. What's that going to be?
The sad part is I know it will not be released before OAX. I was really hoping that some stuff would come out before OAX, or at least be spoiled, but I think that's pretty unlikely at this stage. So, oh well. Next OAX, I guess.
That's okay. Or like Heroes Con. You do Heroes Con, right?
I tend to go to Heroes Con just because it's close to me, and then and I know a bunch of you guys from OAX and from other shows, and so meet up and just chat or whatever, and just have fun there.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean that would be fun. I would definitely be bringing my cards for you to sign it at OAX.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I did the interview with Dave and I was putting together like the slideshow and everything, and I was like, the painting said this date, but when I was like confirming what actually card the art was on like a Magic the Gathering search engine or something like that, the date release for the set was like years later. And I was like,
yeah,
is this right? And then Dave confirmed it on the show. He's like, yeah, no, they just technically, I don't know when they're going to use the art. It could be so far down the road, and that's what he was seeing for a little while. So I was like,
yeah, it's crazy. I have I counted the other day roughly 18 to 20 pieces that I've done over the past 18 to 20 months that haven't been released yet, and for various customers and various clients that I'm just waiting for them to come out. Especially kind of where I'm at with my career, like I need these to come out because
publicity.
I've been excited to do these things for so long. Now I'm getting to do them, and it's like I can't talk about them for a year and a half to 2 years. It's hard. It's hard not to talk about it.
I'm sure it's really hard not to talk about them or be excited to share your work. I can only imagine what that would feel like. I know how it feels like when you want to tell a secret and you're like, I can't tell a secret. So I can only imagine. Gabriel asked 2 questions. We'll bring them up. Cool. How did you get connected with Magic the Gathering? I don't know if you could say that, but also, is it easier once you've been published? I'm guessing he's following up to be connected with these major companies.
In regards to Wizards of the Coast, I got my first portfolio review from some Wizards of the Coast art directors at Gen Con in 2016. That's how long I had been working on building those relationships, emailing them new work, just trying to get in the door and, get some work from them. And when I look back at that work, I'm like, yeah, I understand why they didn't give me, give me the opportunity back then. But it takes a while, and you've got to build up those relationships. You've got to find them at places where they're doing portfolio reviews, get their email addresses, And there's two parts to it. They want to see that you can do the work, but they're taking a chance on you anytime they have a new artist, right? So
Yeah.
they want to see a few things. They want to see, are you someone they want to talk to and work with? Are you someone who's going to stick to it, because it's not an easy industry, right? So are you someone who's going to have longevity? You're not just going to give up. So they want to see that you're doing stuff. You've got other things published. You know how to work with an art director. So I think it takes a lot of time. Like I said, it took me 8 years to get in the door at Wizards of the Coast, and so you just got to keep working. Be
Don't
persistent.
give up.
Don't be pushy, but be persistent.
Yeah, don't give up. Keep banging your head against the wall.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it's all about. All right, we're gonna move into. I'm gonna share.
Oh, I'll just say he asked, does it get easier and easier once you've been published? I mean, in a way, just like anything else, any other career, you gain confidence in yourself, and you understand better how to talk to the people that you need to talk to, and more people, so you can introduce yourself more easily, and other people might introduce you, and so you get to know people better. So that aspect gets easier to get more work, because also they have more confidence in you. They see you've been published doing this, this, and this. They know you're a professional now, so that makes it easier. Does it get easier personally? I wouldn't say that, because they don't coordinate with each other, and so when you have 2, 3, 4 clients, that usually they're all coming at you at the same time, because they have different projects and they're not talking to each other, obviously.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh crap, I wasn't doing anything for a month. Well, I was doing something, but I wasn't doing this for a month, and then now I got 4 people at once. Where were you last month? So it gets a little difficult in that way, and also because now the bar is raised as well. Every time you do that, every time you take on another client, you're looking at what other people are doing for that client. What's Dave Colombo doing for Wizards? What's Dan DeSantos doing, for Upper Deck? Like, that's the bar you're looking at. And so you're like, oh man, am I good enough for this? Right. So there's that as well. So it gets harder on that end of it, but it does get easier to make the context the more, the longer you've been in it.
Cool. That's cool to hear. And it makes sense, right? But yeah, I could only think of what pressures you would feel now, because then it's like, oh wow, this work is getting to this level. It's at this level. And then it's like, well, like you said, now a whole new set of pressures come, or expectations, or deadlines coming when multiple companies coming at you at once. And it's like, what happened? Yeah. Like, what happened? Now all of a sudden it all happens, right? Well, what's that rule? The rule of 3. When something happens, it happens in 3s or something. So
and every piece has got to be to that quality of what was in your portfolio, right? You can't have a letdown piece like you might have had while you were kind of learning. They're expecting you to come at them with the quality that you showed them in the portfolio. So,
word, that makes sense. That's absolutely what I would expect an art director to say. You know what I mean? Our friend Jeremiah Myles just got to say, OAX was his and his wife's first convention. You were such a genuine and great guy to spend time with. My wife still mentions the show's highlights.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I had a great time as well. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We got to do the hibachi this year. Well, for 2026.
Oh yeah,
I missed that one. I was stuck in going back and forth in Ubers from the villa from back and forth. I was like, we got to not do this Uber stuff.
Yeah, it's always tough because there's just so many people you want to talk to and have dinner with, and and it's impossible to have dinner with everybody. And
I know, yeah.
Can't get a seat, it's just, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We had a great time. This year my son's coming, so we're looking forward to doing a lot of the Magic the Gathering stuff he wants to do. And he'll be 18, so he'll be an adult, so it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be cool. All right, so let me move into our sharing segment so we can look at some of these amazing pieces that I got to just look through on my own. I was like, oh, okay. All right, so where are we?
And I dumped a lot of stuff in there, so
yeah. All right,
we'll see.
All right, so dude, this is one of my favorite pieces.
Thank you. This is a commission from a friend I made at OAX, who's purchased my art, various pieces of my art, but also is a friend now. And really, he showed me this, and I've forgotten which artist did the original Batman piece, but essentially, it's Batman in an alley with a scaffolding, and Joker's got this fish. He's got the Joker fish, and he was like, "Would you do a recreation of this?" I'm like, I don't really like to do recreations, but I'll kind of do my own take on what another scene that might have happened during this, fight.
Okay.
And so this is what I kind of came up with. And so you got Batman. There was lightning in the background of that one. I want to do lightning in it as well, but I really wanted to make sure that the Batman still stood out, and so I wanted the red lightning back there, so his like bluish, outfit can stand out off of the red lightning. And also, I wanted to make sure. So he was very specific that he did not want Joker to steal the show. Right? This is about Batman, so that's why I went with the purple and red in the background, so that Joker kind of blends in a little more with that. He's not stealing the show, and Batman's the one who's the focal point.
Oh, that's cool. I really like that. I like how you blended it. And the Joker's grin is is maniacal, man. And just from like that, it's awesome.
Thank you. I need to do a write up on that one on my Patreon, because you guys are gonna laugh your butt off at the the reference photos of me dressed up as as the Joker, shooting some reference for that piece.
I got it. Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun to see it. Blake's got a great question here. Myles, who is a character you have never done that you would really want to do?
Oh wow, never done. That's interesting. Let me just quickly try to go through some of my favorite characters in my head.
He's coming up with a commission idea. That's why he's like, oh, if I
I'd
ask him to
say,
this
like,
guy.
for a full-size painting, I've never done, this is going to be maybe obscure for some of you, Death Dealer. I have had somebody ask me, and they may want a commission for it, but I'm excited to potentially do that in the future. I'd say Hellboy is probably another one.
Cool.
Yeah, I can think of a few. And a lot of them are going to be like around like 80s stuff, like The Crow, or maybe some like G.I. Joe characters, or stuff like that. That I've done a lot of the comic book stuff, so that's
that's really cool.
find something else.
Yeah, I like that. Somebody's asking, who's your favorite dead and live artist?
Oh, that's good. My favorite live artist is Gabriel Dell'Otto.
Okay.
He's just phenomenal. Special shout out to Dan DeSantos as well, who is obviously my mentor. And, that's the obvious answer. So I kind of wanted to go different than that. Dead artist, Frank Frazetta. For sure, it's Frank Frazetta.
Nice.
In fact, I've got a Frank Frazetta Death Dealer shirt on right now.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. That's a cool shirt, man. I love following the Frank Frazetta Museum, man. I love seeing everything they post. That's really cool.
I love JC Leyendecker as well, but it's and it's a style that I flirted with for a little while, being very brushstrokey and extra organic. But my brain, I'm just a little bit too left brain, and so I kind of came back to more like tighter style. And maybe I'll pull some of those brushstrokes back in at some point, but I think I'm still finding out who I'm going to be eventually, and that's the fun of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, growing up, my stepdad was really big into Conan.
Yeah,
so Frazetta was just a big influence throughout our household when I was young. Just jacked men with cloth, loincloths and swords.
Museum, it's really cool.
No, it's on my list to do. It's in Pennsylvania, right? So it
is. I saw Palumbo was talking about IX or LuxCon when he was on the show. And it's a show I go to every year. I don't exhibit there. I just go because it's like an art family reunion.
Cool.
And I just go and chill and have some drinks and talk to all my art friends. But right near there is the Frazetta Museum. So it's a great combo trip.
It's like a double. You could do both.
Yeah.
That's what, Reading, Pennsylvania? I think it's
Reading. Yeah. And
okay, there you go.
The museum's not in Reading, but it's nearby.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking into it because I wanted to do it, but I was like, by the time I looked at it after I had Dave on the show, I was like, I don't know if I could swing it, but it's on the list for 2026 because it's not that far. It's like an hour and 15-minute drive from my house. So
yeah,
I was like, I'm definitely going to do that. Get to see everything. But yeah, Frazetta, that's a cool influence. Very cool. Fire's asking also, who is a character that you have done that you really didn't want to? I don't know if you want to call out a commission you might have done.
It's Invisible Woman, Sue Richards.
Okay.
just because like I find the character design just kind of boring. Like I had somebody ask me to do Invisible Woman at the first OAX. I did the sketch card hour where you do like as fast as you can, like quick sketches. And someone handed me the card and they're like, "Do Invisible Woman." And I was like, "Done," and handed it back.
Handed it back.
Look, it's blank. You know,
Just do dashes real quick.
because it's like, how do you do a headshot of her? Like she's just there's nothing, there's no mask, there's nothing remarkable there, right?
Yeah.
And you know, without like the paints to be able to do some sort of glow effect or something, there's not really much there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a character I don't love doing.
That's funny. Yeah, because she's almost like you got to make her like a ghost, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, oh, that's a good question though. I like that. All right, so let's move on to the next piece here.
Cool, man.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that piece is a lot of fun. So everything you're seeing there that's like goldish, that's actually copper, and
Oh, wow.
I painted it on a copper panel, and those pieces that you're seeing there are actually you're seeing the panel. So I just didn't paint those pieces or scratch them away, so the copper showed through.
Oh, wow.
I had that piece at the first OAX. I think it's 8x10. Someone bought it there, and I love how the piece came out, but I'm done painting on copper because it's a pain in the butt. It's so slippery. But it was.
I had no idea that was copper.
Yeah.
Wow. So you just did not paint all of these lines.
Yeah, I scratched them out. Actually,
You
the ones that are
scratched
on
them
him,
out.
I scratched out, and the circle behind him, I just did not paint. Yeah.
Wow, that must have been a lot of additional work.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be easier, but turns out not so much.
Good, you made it. He's toned and jacked, bro.
Oh yeah,
This is awesome.
gotta be.
Wakanda forever. That's a cool piece, dude.
Thanks, man.
He's one of my favorite like villains from Star Wars.
I love Cad Bane. I love the
Yeah.
Clone Wars animated series, and Cad Bane is one of my favorite characters from that series. This piece is a smaller piece. It's 5x7. I did a few of these. I like to do these smaller oil paintings as well for shows because you can get them at a better price point than a larger oil painting, and you can still go home with an oil painting, but it's it's not thousands of dollars. It's it's cheaper. So and it's fun because you can just take a character and you don't have to think about background or anything like that, and it's just like, how do I make this character look cool in a in a limited background setting?
Yeah.
And I love that character so much.
Yeah. It's whenever he was in the cartoon, because I used to watch it with my son, Clone Wars, and I was like, oh, this is an awesome episode right now. We're getting or like an arc storylines going on, and he's in it. I'm like, I was like really like into it. I was like, oh,
he's like like a Clint Eastwood bad guy, like a spaghetti western bad guy.
Spaghetti western. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect explanation. Oh, this is awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, Captain America. This is one of the 8x10 commissions I did for OAX last year. This one was, I believe, this was for Alberto, who some of you may know as one of the main Captain America collectors. I had some fun with this one. You got to get the shield in there. You got to get all the important bits. Obviously, it's a bust, so you couldn't get the whole shield, but I had to get enough of it so you could see it there, and your mind will fill in the rest. And then I love to do that kind of fiery red background because it just pops so well.
It does. It really does. And the way you did like the lighting on his face is just, it's perfect.
Thank you.
You can see where the light source is coming. Gabriel's asking, what substrates do you like to use for oil painting?
Like mediums. I don't use a lot of medium. I'll maybe use a little bit of linseed oil mixed with some Gamsol. But typically I paint, with the paint out of the tube. I don't tend to use a lot of, like if I'm in a hurry, I might have to use some liquid to speed up the drying. But other than that, I tend to just use the tube paint. I paint pretty thin. So, yeah.
I love this one. This one's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I had that one at OAX last year.
Yeah, I saw it there. Yeah.
Someone picked that one up as 11x14. Deadpool, Deadpool is interesting because he can go so many ways with Deadpool, right? Is it serious as like the old original Rob Liefeld X-Force Deadpool, where he's just a badass mercenary, or is it like the later, like early 2000s version where he's become this like insane, schizo multi-personality If you haven't played the Deadpool video game, by the way, you should play that. It's an older game, but it's hilarious. And
That's
so like, I
awesome.
went the funny route on this one, and had some fun with it, you know.
Did the game influence this piece at all?
It did, yeah, because the game was like the comic where there's like multiple voices in his head, and they're kind of all talking to each other, and it's just great. It's pretty funny.
That is awesome. That is awesome. These are commissioned pieces, right?
Yeah, all the last few have been commissioned. Yeah, none of those have been published pieces.
Yeah. This I saw this on day one at OAX, and then there was like a red sticker on it almost immediately.
It
When
went,
did this?
yeah, went for the first couple hours of the first day.
Yep, there we go. That's it. Day one, you got to hit the floor running, guys.
Speaking of Frazetta influence,
There you go.
So this was a commission for a friend of mine who has commissioned a few pieces from me. I mean, originally he bought a commission from me, and then we became friends. Named Ron Shepard, and great guy. And he wanted his childhood. He loved Fire and Ice, which was a old '80s like barbarian warrior kind of cartoon that was done by Frazetta and I believe Ralph Bakshi. And I hadn't seen it since I was like a little kid, so I'd go back and I watched the movie. And then came up with this piece, and this is actually pretty big. It's 18 by 24. I had it with me at the first OAX just to display it. It had already been, commissioned and painted and sold and all that kind of stuff. But I had some fun with this, trying to, channel my inner Frazetta.
Yeah, well, you nailed it, man.
Thank you.
You nailed the whole vibe. Between the body structure, who wants to being attacked, the way blood is. I really like the mask he has. It's wild looking. It's pretty cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I love painting like the gritty, gloomy, dark stuff. That's just kind of Gen X. What am I going to do? This is kind of in my DNA. So
yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it's barbaric.
Give me the pretty happy stuff to paint. I will not do well at that. It's like, give me the gritty, dark, evil bad guys or anti-heroes. I'm much happier with painting that stuff.
Fire's asking, have you done any sketch cards for any unreleased Marvel sets?
No, I have not. Haven't done any sketch cards actually since, I want to say, I did some in 2024 actually, but I haven't done any of this other than commissions for private collectors. I haven't done any official sketch cards. My schedule has been completely full with larger published pieces. So I haven't really had the capacity or bandwidth to do sketch cards. And, honestly, I'd rather do the larger published pieces and then just do sketch cards for private collectors.
Nice.
This was another one of the OAX commissions from last year, Galactus. I had some fun with this. This is challenging because if, how do you do a bust of Galactus and still make him feel huge?
Yeah.
So, that was part of the challenge here. And I actually talk about that on my Patreon when I have a video of this on my Patreon, showing me painting it like start to finish pretty much. So I kind of like zoomed in on him. So you kind of feel small and you're looking way up at him and kind of trying to use those effects to make him feel larger and more imposing.
You absolutely nailed the scale of him. I mean, when I see it, you feel like you're looking up at him from like some kind of very small vantage point or something, like you're the Silver Surfer.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you nailed it.
Thank you.
This one's really cool.
Thanks. This is a piece that maybe, a lot of people won't know. I think I'm allowed to show it because I published it before they bought it from me. So this is based on a character named Kelsier from Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn series. And I think most people might know Brandon Sanderson. He's one of the biggest names in fantasy writing right now. And I did this piece in Dan DeSanto's class. And he was having the art director from Dragonsteel, who's Brandon Sanderson's company, come in, and he saw the piece. He really liked it, and now we're working together with this and another project as well. So it's turned into something really awesome, and exciting. Mistborn was actually the first like fantasy book series my wife and I both read together and we talked about and stuff 15 years ago. So it was really cool to be able to do something for that world and that author. And I'm pretty sure I can show this piece, even though it hasn't been released yet, because I had already posted it to Instagram before before I started working with him. So it's out there regardless.
It's out there. It's out there. Well, it's an awesome piece. It gives me like a ranger vibe, you know, something
Thank
like
you.
it's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely on the more illustrative side as opposed to the comic
Yes.
book side, but I wanted to toss some of that in here. So yeah,
Yes.
King Shark. Yeah, so finally this got spoiled. I'm so happy.
Yeah, King Shirt's awesome.
Yeah, so it's been at least a year since I painted this piece. And when they gave me King Shark, I was like, yes, I love King Shark. He's awesome. And they wanted the kind of more this version, of more 90s version, as opposed to the newer version where he can like, he's reading a book and he's kind of like intellectual. They wanted the kind of the more savage version. So I had fun with this and just kind of creating maybe a little bit of a story here with these, these boats up top, and they're dropping their anchors, and they're about to get a big surprise.
I love that. I love that. And that, I was just gonna say, your works have such a narrative depth, like many pieces convey a story or a mythic background rather than just like a static character portrait. Do you create full stories like behind your visuals for yourself in a way?
I try to, for some, obviously not for the busts, it's a little
Yeah.
harder to do that with, but for the full size pieces that, it's like you have King Shark to do. There's two ways to approach it. You can just start like sketching until you find a cool pose, and that's fine. But for me, I try to think of like, well, what's King Shark going to be doing? What kind of interesting thing can I put it, and I think that some of that, the illustrative background that's kind of coming in is kind of what we talked about earlier, where
Yeah.
we're trying to marry those two things, like the cool comic book pose, character, whatever, all that kind of stuff, mixed with some sort of narrative element. And there are dudes like Palumbo and other DeSantos and others who crush me on that. There's, I aspire to be as good narratively as they are. But if I can get some little element of that in my work, it makes me happy. And it's cool because you see King Shark immediately, but then you get to see the story, and then it means more the longer you look at it. And hopefully for the people who buy the original art, they're seeing it in full size. So, hopefully they're seeing more in the piece, the more and more they look at it. So hopefully that worked out.
It did work out. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool. He's underneath boats. What's he gonna do? Pull the anchor? Like something crazy's happening. I love the whole narrative, like thought process of an illustration. So it's really cool to see. And you did great there with it.
Thank
I
you.
love it. This is one of my favorites.
This is, for me, this piece felt like a real turning point for me, kind of in my ability and in my painting work. This is a piece I did in Dan's class, also working with Dan a couple of years ago. And when I did this piece, I was like, this is how I want to paint from now on. I want every piece to be this good, and I'm not usually like, I don't like my work. Like, you stare at it for 2 or 3 weeks and you're like, I hate this. I don't want to look at it for one more second. All I see is the flaws, until later when you pull it back out a year later. Right. But this piece, like, immediately. And then part of it is because Magneto is my favorite character. So we'll get that out of the way. But I really like how it came out. I was happy with the glow effect and the powerful feeling of Magneto in the piece. And this piece was a commission from Jake. And what I wanted to do for this piece, and also this one's on my Patreon, I think I talked quite a bit about this, but I wanted to harken back to like all the first Magneto stories. So if you go back to like the very first Magneto story, he's like trying to take over a missile silo. If you look at the first Magneto story in the X-Men cartoon in the 90s, he's taken over a missile silo. If you look at X-Men First Class, he's controlling missiles, right? So like, I was like, all right, we need to hit that. This is the roots of what makes Magneto and everyone, identifies Magneto as. So that's where I went with this.
It's awesome. And I like that because it is something that's always been in his origin, right? You're like, oh, we'll shoot nukes at him. And it's like, well, they're made of metal, man. It's like shooting a bullet at him. I mean,
right.
You don't want to do that.
Missiles at me. Okay. And now I got him and I'm going to try.
Yeah. Now he's got him. He's going to use them on you.
Right.
Not the smartest, but yeah, you do these superhero or villain inspired works like this Magneto. There's a Harley Quinn we're going to look at, even Spider-Man. How do you approach those iconic characters while still putting your own spin on them?
Yeah, it's tough. Part of it is you don't want to repeat what someone else has done, but you still want to like touch those tendrils in people's brains where they recognize that as the character and that's their narrative and that's their story, right? So
yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of a balance there. The hardest part, honestly, one of the harder parts for me is going back. So if someone was like, "Hey, do a Magneto piece for me, like full scale, like that, like card art kind of piece," now I got to like, my brain will start going back to that piece. Like I got to like purge that, and come up with some completely different idea because your brain just wants to like go back to those paths you've already traveled.
Yes. Yeah. Only Magneto can look that cool in purple spandex. That's funny.
That's great.
Dude, here's my piece. I love
Yeah.
this piece. This is no joke. When I was waiting and I was like, oh, I wonder what he's gonna do. I wonder how it's gonna look. And when I saw this, man, I was like, oh my God, that's an insane piece. I can't believe I'm gonna own this. And the way you did like the light and the way it's like fireflies or magic coming out of the area is just, it's amazing, man. I love it. It's got like this magic tone to it.
Thanks. Yeah, it's an interesting piece because no matter how many pictures of Man Thing I looked at, like it's tough to kind of get an idea of what he actually looks like because he's just like this. There's so many tendrils and things going on. So, I kind of winged it a little bit in certain spots and kind of tried to put my own stamp on it. I wanted to get the mossiness on top of his head. And I feel like the best way to show that is to have like, a little bit of like backlight, like almost like a movie cinematic lighting on it.
Very cool.
And that's what I was going for here. And yeah, I wanted to just get those little magic pieces or, whatever, just kind of make you think like, what's the story here? Where's he at? What are those,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love it. I think it came out perfect. I couldn't be any happier with it. So thank you so much again.
My pleasure, dude.
The Aries.
Yeah, this is one of my Marvel Platinum pieces.
Yep.
Yeah, so I did this in 2022. I included these in here just because I think people will know them, and we can, revisit them a bit. I think my work has changed, maybe progressed, hopefully gotten a little better since then, but I still do like these pieces a lot. I really like this Aries piece. I have a write-up on this one on my Patreon, and you can definitely see me posing in some silly spandex for this one.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
Hilarious.
it was a fun piece. Again, they cut off a lot of this piece for the card.
Yes.
Like there's some skulls down there in the bottom and stuff. And, I don't know if it was because they didn't want to show the skulls or if it was just to make it fit on the card better. But a lot of, what you see here, you're not seeing on the all that outside narrative stuff in the card.
You are 100% correct. It wasn't just your card. They did it with all of the art in Platinum. It was the way they designed the way the foil looks. So like the character itself was centered like right, like this wasn't shaded at all, but then the background was shaded and then had a rainbow effect to it. So and they cut it off and zoomed in. So I had no idea the sword, the arrow, there's like a flag in the bottom there. I didn't see the skulls until you showed this piece and I was like, wait a minute, what? And then I learned like, nah, they kind of like manipulate the card sometimes to make it fit for what they want to utilize. And I was like, oh, and then if you look at Platinum, all of the backgrounds kind of look like that. And you're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? But yeah, I was trying to get a little bit of the story with the God of War here, right? So
yes.
you gotta have a battle scene around him and made it feel like more of an ancient battle scene with the sword and the arrow and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it looks great. I mean, because that's what you get is God of War, it's Aries. So nailed that. I like it. I like the background too. It's simple, but the colors give you like there's this fire, smoke going on, something's burning. He devastated everything. So pretty cool. And Kang
the Conqueror. Yeah. Again, just trying to make him feel strategic and imposing at the same time. Get some kind of like space vibe behind him to show that he's, kind of this intergalactic time traveling being. I had some fun with this one for sure.
Yeah. I was looking at the so I can't see the comments when I go. So Perna was saying that's a cool Man Thing.
Thanks,
and then Gabriel asked, what colors did you use for the Man Thing for the green and the red?
The red is some sort of mix of, it's alizarin crimson and cadmium red. The green, probably Viridian, and then some cadmium yellow to brighten. You know, the light coming from the bottom left is like a yellowish light, so I'm bringing all that in there, and then the light coming from the back side, the backlight, is more like a light, like a phthalo blue, like a blue light coming. So you get those kind of contrasting colors there, the warm and the cool.
Yeah, it pops. The eyes really pop. Like when you really look up close to it and you're looking at it, it's like you really feel like they're, like popping out.
Like lenses.
Correct, like lenses. Yeah, it's
great. Thank you.
Awesome. Great question.
This is my favorite piece from Platinum set. And it's, there's not a lot to it. It's kind of a simple, rawr, coming at you, saber-tooth pose. But one, I love the mutants. I grew up on the X-Men. It was my favorite book. All the Wolverine books. I had like number 1 through 30 of the Wolverine series. So one of my favorite characters. And I just kind of wanted him just like rawr, jumping down from the tree, kind of a thing, jumping at you. And yeah, I had some fun with this. I love Sabretooth. He's a great character.
Yeah, shout out to our buddy Graydon, Last Pack Magic. Make sure to go check him out on his channel. Yeah, he's a big Sabretooth PC guy. So I like this. Sabretooth and Wolverine was my first like introduction to a feud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on TV, like it's like it was throughout the cartoon and then later in the comics. And I was like, so I always, to me, Sabretooth and Wolverine, yeah, Magneto was OP, but the real feud, like there's some real serious beef between these two characters.
Yeah, there's something awesome about that, like just the visceral, like close mano-y-mano kind of a thing that I love in comics. Like a lot of the Marvel movies have gone to like the sci-fi. They're going very intergalactic. Everything is huge. For me, growing up, those weren't the comics I really liked or collected. I never got into Fantastic Four much and some of the intergalactic battles like the Avengers and stuff. For me, it was the street level. It was Daredevil, Punisher. It was Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man, which is very street level and dark. And that's kind of, and even the X-Men were more like, in world at that time, rather than, extraterrestrial kind of stuff. So that's the kind of stuff I love as well.
Yeah, before we got involved with like the Shi'ars and all that. But man. But yeah, they were grounded, it was street level. Like Sabretooth like literally went onto the street and just started destroying cars with people in them, and people definitely got murked in that cartoon. They just didn't show it, But going back, you're like, oh man, that car's totaled. Those people aren't alive in there,
Right. And there's the Thor piece from that set. That was the creator art variant. Had some fun with that one as well, for sure. Some fun reference for that one.
Yeah. I think we all own these card stocks. Yeah,
man.
Platinum was a fun rep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own the originals anymore either, so I'm right there with you.
I just have the cards left.
That's all I have, the cards right back there.
I sign my own cards. Love this silk.
Yeah, this is a fun one. I didn't know a lot about this character when I got the commission, but I learned a bunch about her, and I really dig the suit design. The costume design is great. So had some fun with this one. I always love doing spider characters. They're always fun. And people do ask me to do a lot of them, and I love doing, especially I love doing Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, and Silk. A little bit more than Spider-Man himself. Spider-Man's cool as well. Just those webs can be a bit of a pain. They're just everywhere, and they don't really make sense in certain configurations.
Yeah, I can get it.
So you do your best to paint around the weirdness. But Silk was a lot of fun. Doing that webbing to kind of like come straight out of her fingers as well was really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool detail. Right, and I like how you put your logo on the stone.
Yeah, if I can, I like to try to work it into something like that. But if not, it just goes wherever.
Yeah, it's cool. Good job. I like it. It's a good little detail.
And we're getting kind of to the card section. I got some cards in here. This was
Cool.
from Marvel Premiere like a year and a half-ish, maybe 2 years ago. Beast, double-sized card.
Yeah, the Beast is awesome, man.
Thank you.
I like
Yeah, he has good glasses. Like he's just like he was working on some important experiment, but then somebody pissed him off, and now that's it. The glasses are flying off. Here he comes.
Yeah, I like it, right? Like somebody went into the lab and they shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Oh, Blade.
Yeah, another oversized. So this is 5x7 sketch card. Blade. I love the original Blade movie. The first two movies actually I loved. So that's had a huge influence on me growing up.
Yeah, me too. Those were great movies, man. With
Yeah.
Whistler and everything. Yeah, those
Yeah,
are good
great.
movies.
Daredevil and Elektra. This is again a double size. This is one of those battle book ones. I hate
Yes.
painting on these because they have that gap in the center, but I do my best to cover it.
Well, you did great.
Thank-
Sometimes I've seen artists skip the gap.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. So mind the gap. Mind the gap.
Mind the gap, exactly.
You
as they
did
say.
great. I like the dual sketch, and those are two perfect characters for a dual sketch. So
Thank you. Another
that's
dual.
cool.
This is a 4-panel. Yeah, 4-panel
Yeah,
Galactus. And so
4
this was the
panel.
first set I was actually able to paint Galactus or Surfer on. So it was cool to be able to mess with those characters before they lost the license.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This is the one and only set I got to do Galactus and Surfer on.
Wow, it's like perfect that it's a 4 panel because he's so big, you know.
Yeah. Sorry if you can hear that slurping. That's my dog drinking some water.
It's all good. We love dogs on this channel. I got 2 at home.
Hopefully she lays down and relaxes now because my wife's not here to deal with her. So this is a Gambit piece I did. This is on OAX stock.
Oh, nice.
That was a lot of fun.
Looks great.
Yeah, Gabriel. These are oils on sketch cards. Yeah. You just got to hit them with like some matte medium first to seal the sketch card, so you can so it takes the oil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like oil will seep into the card. If you don't, you need a barrier when you're going to paint with oil. So gesso works. It's maybe just a little bit, for me, a little bit too thick and coarse for such a small piece. So I like to use matte medium on the smaller pieces.
Good to know. Well, because otherwise, the card will all like bend and warp.
Well, it's just too much texture on a small piece makes it hard to do fine detail. So,
Okay.
And it's tough to sand it, because you don't want to damage the card. So matte medium's a little bit smoother, I find. So that's what I go with for cards.
Cool.
This is one of my favorite sketch cards. Yeah. I love doing Ghost Rider. Doing fire is so much fun. So you just, and I just I love the look when he's got he's so hot. His face is red, the skull is red. So, I had some fun with that for sure.
That's an awesome Ghost Rider. Wow, look at it. You could even see the way you did the jacket with the fire coming in. That's a great detail right there. That's awesome.
Thank you.
When did you do that one?
This was recent, 2024. I think it was last year. Sometime last year I did that one. This was for this is an AP card. Yeah, Marvel Masterpieces. I want to see. Yeah, it was 2024. Pretty sure. Nice.
Yeah, that is definitely a fire sketch.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Piece. Yeah. I've done quite a few magic pieces recently, I realized.
It's become a popular character. I think I know why.
Most popular female character right now. She might have overtaken Psylocke.
Really? I could see that. That'd be a fun poll to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Spidey,
not
our buddy Justin. Spidey Hits probably got her popularity up real high.
Yeah. There's another magic. Yep. I'm surprised they let this one through. I was a little concerned because there's a little midriff show in there, and they can be kind of restrictive when it comes to stuff like that. But even though it is her costume, but
yeah, it is, right?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Art director was in a good mood that day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this looks good. The purple background, simple, but it pops,
Yeah, the purple makes the yellow pop, so I figured that would work.
I've seen this, and this one looks great.
Thanks. Yeah, this is where one of those paintings I was doing on the back, still taped down to the board, but this is a painting I was doing on the back of my Marvel Platinum cards. I've done 7, I think, so far. I don't plan to do more than 10 of those. So yeah, I've done 7 of them, and just flip over the Marvel Platinum card and scuff it up a little bit, and then put some gesso down to cover up everything that's on the back, and then I do whatever people want me to paint on, whatever character they want.
Awesome.
Make your own AP.
Wow. Another Magneto.
5x7. Yeah, this was for Marvel Masterpieces XL, I want to say.
Oh, that's cool.
And then there's another one. There's the 7th one. Yeah, and that one was done on. So most of them I was doing on the back of the base cards, but this one guy was like, I want it on the back of the creator art variant Thor, and I was like, I only have one of those for me, so you've got to supply the card for that one. And he's like, no problem. So sent me that, and actually sent me some bonus cards as well. So super nice guy. It was great.
That's cool.
Yeah. There we go. There's Psylocke 5x7.
Yeah. I like that.
Thanks.
I'm a fan of purple.
Yeah, I like the purple as well. It pops.
Yeah.
And
there he is.
5x7 Spidey. So these were all the Marvel Masterpieces XL, all those 5x7s. I think those were maybe an E-pack release only or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. You might notice on that one, if you zoom in, that I've got some cities, like some buildings in his eyes, some reflection of some buildings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really cool.
Thanks.
Good detail.
Thank you.
Thanos.
Marvel. This is one of the few Marvel Platinum. I think I only got 2 or 3. I can't remember. Wow. Just a few though. Marvel Platinum APs, and this was one of them. Yeah, I love Thanos.
That's cool. It looks great with the Infinity Stones.
One of my favorite characters to paint. Venom, another one. Yeah,
this one was sick, man. I was like, when I saw this, I was like, I hope I pull this card. I never found
I don't know.
it.
I'm assuming it got pulled. I have and so many cards, I have no idea. Like I've done so many sketch cards, but I have no idea where they all are. Or even all got pulled, or they're sitting in some warehouse somewhere, waiting for someone to get them on e-pack. I don't know.
Yeah, it's stuff. And that happens sometimes with sketches. They sit in a box on a shelf for 20 years sometimes.
Yeah.
Another awesome Venom.
This one was a artist proof card. I was running low on my remaining artist proof stock, and so they're like, I don't care, give me the Punisher stock. It's just one Venom.
Like, I don't care what it's on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Let's see if I can.
He's one of those characters where you're like, all right, I've painted him like 20 times now. How am I going to do something slightly different this time?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way you did the pose on this one, I like this one. This one was my favorite one out of them.
Yeah, he's like, you talking to me?
Yeah, right. I claim that Venom, dang it. Yeah, guys, Tony knows what's up. Don't forget to hit pound ramble on. Pound ramble on to win a OAX blank 2025 sketch card. And we do not want the Canadian man to win. He's one too many. No, I'm kidding. It's fair game for everybody. But yeah, pound ramble on. We love Tony.
Gabriel's asking, am I shooting the pictures with my phone? And for publishing, am I using a scanner? Those photos that you're seeing were like on my drawing desk or on my easel. Yeah, those are done with my cell phone. But like, you got to kind of move the lights around a bit and kind of take them at an angle because oil paint is so reflective. It's very difficult to take photos. I don't do that for the final that I send in. The final that I send in is like almost like a day process. I've got to get it into a photo shoot with lights coming from like opposite angles at like the exact angle, the polarized lens, and then pull that into Photoshop and like clean up glare and lint and stuff that glares off of it. So photographing you can't scan it because that bright light you see on a scanner just completely reflects back because the oil paint, is reflective, and you just get like gloss. You get nothing. So you actually have to photograph it like you're photographing a model, kind of a thing. So it's a process for sure.
Yeah. It was definitely difficult for me to get a good picture of the man thing, and then can I scan it?
No, absolutely not.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I don't think I should scan that thing.
It won't work. It'll just come out all like washed, like glossed out. Like
no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I wanted to ask first.
The light that's shining up to get the scan reflects right back into the camera, and so it just blows it out. So yeah, that is like you got to think of it like a pool ball. The photons from the light are going to hit the painting, and you want to make sure those photons aren't bouncing back into your camera. They need to be bouncing off. And so what I do is 2 equidistant lights coming from like 30-degree angle, and then I shoot it from the center so that like the photons are bouncing that way, and I'm shooting from the center.
Huh. I have
There's
two.
there's an entire art and science to photographing and oil painting. So yeah, it's not the most fun part of the process. But
Yeah,
if you're looking for a video or an artist, I should say, an article on it, check out Muddy Colors, where like Dan DeSantos and Dave Palumbo both have articles on Muddy Colors about how to photograph your art.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've watched some of the Muddy Colors, and Dan does some pretty good stuff. Dave's done some stuff on there. Very cool.
Yeah. This was so Todd McFarlane did that contest. I want to say like a year and a half, 2 years ago, for to get, to be on the cover of a Spawn comic book, and I painted this piece in 2 16-hour days on a weekend. To rush to get it. I was working on some other stuff, and I was like, I still really want to get this piece done. I want to be able to submit it for the contest. And like Saturday and Sunday, I worked 16 hours both days to get this piece done and get it submitted in time for the contest. I didn't win, whatever, but I still had a lot of fun, and it's one of my favorite pieces still because I just love Spawn. So
awesome. Yeah, Spawn's one of my faves. The HBO Spawn cartoon, man, was so brutal when I was a kid.
So
All right, so yeah, the chat. So there's this new thing that it automatically did. So I think I got to figure out how to stop it. But it now when I do a live stream, it does vertical and horizontal. One is supposedly better for your phone. So if you notice you're in that one, the vertical and not the horizontal, come into the horizontal stream. I don't know if I'm going to do this for the next live. Again, it was automatic, so I think I have to figure out how to change it. Like I could view both on my screen, and I'm not a fan of the way the vertical looks. So I'm probably not going to do that next week. Thanks for bringing that up. If you are watching the vertical instead of the horizontal, let me know what it looks like. I'm going to take that setting off. I personally not a fan. It's a new StreamYard thing. Supposedly it was better to do it if you're on your phone. So what are we saying? My phone did vertical and it's still doing it vertical, but my TV is horizontal. Okay. Yeah, supposedly it was for phone versus the TV. But sorry to sidetrack there. I just saw this chat starting to go off about it. And I'm like, oh, I hope it's not messed up because it's the first time it automatically did it. So
yeah.
But yeah, dude, the Spawn, the greens and purples are my favorite. That's why I like Joker. But so anytime I could see any kind of like green, wild glow or some kind of crazy, I don't know if you ever played World of Warcraft or anything.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I played World of Warcraft for like 3 years.
Me too, dude. Oh, I wasted like 3 or 4 years of my life on it.
Yep.
But
my wife and I both played. We were in the same room with
probably
computers.
Man. Probably. I played a night elf druid.
You know me, man. I was on the horde side. I'm
oh, okay. We probably were fighting.
But I was a druid.
Oh, you were? Okay, there we go. Awesome, man. I was totally down, man. I was having a lot of fun with it. But they use these greens in like parts of the game where I was like, oh, if I ever got like a tattoo, I want like that color green. Or if I got art, I want that green. And that's like this green right here in his hand. So that's really cool to see. And then this was awesome to see that you got these covers in, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
These are really cool.
The last few pieces in this folder are my my 3 covers I did for Dark Horse Comics for the Stranger Things Dungeons and Dragons crossover that came out last year. Yeah, last year. Like March, I think, actually. I want to say. Yeah, it was this year. It was March. So this is the first one. And just had a lot of fun with this because I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I'm a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, and I really wanted to push the 80s vibe on some of these because that's the feel of the show is these kids in the 80s who are playing D&D. So you got this to me, the whole goal of this one is kind of create this like heavy metal 80s album cover kind of feel to it. So you got the lightning coming in, and he's got his guitar that's actually an axe. You can see the axe blade on the bottom of the guitar. So I try to pull in all of that, and of course he's wearing the leather jacket and all that kind of stuff. And the story is about Eddie and how Eddie became the head of the of the club.
Yeah. Well, it's a really. I got all of the covers in my long box.
Oh,
So
awesome.
it was really, yeah. I'm probably gonna bring them to OAX.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. I just don't want them to get ruined. So I got to figure out how I'm going to put them in. I did just get a shipment of comics. So I'm probably just going to utilize the cardboard that it came in since it's already made for comic books.
Good idea. Yeah. And this is the art without all the trade dress. You know, it's the full art. It's a little wider than the art that they use as well. So.
Yeah, that's cool. This is one of my, when he played the guitar and he like the bat, like
so
the
great.
vampire bat. That was such a good scene, man. I was like, this is awesome. That was a good show.
That was one of the best parts of doing this. Is that I think I watched that scene like 5 times, trying to like get the feel for it, and whatever I wanted to do here.
Oh, that's a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, man, that's great.
I'm doing research. Leave me alone.
You're
just watching your favorite show. This one was cool. I like the org.
Thanks. Yeah. So this is Eddie's character in the comic book. Is like an orc fighter or paladin. I can't remember which. And so I wanted to have like his character, but dressed as Eddie. Yeah, I've got some great reference for this. I have all of this stuff. I dressed up like this. I leaned up against the wall in my house, took some photos to kind of get some reference pictures for this. And then I was like, well, I got the costume. So I went as Eddie for Halloween.
Nice. That's fun.
This is my favorite one of the bunch. I really like this one. I like how the brick came out, and I got to do some kind of cool graffiti in the background. But yeah, it was blessed. And that says D&D behind him, which you can probably see better on the next photo where you see the wider. Yeah. So yeah, there's the full version. You can like actually see like the claw of whatever monster, is the shadow.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's the shadow. Oh, I like how you put that monster. What's that monster called?
Holder, yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh man. Hey, did you have any art direction, or you came up with making Eddie his character for D&D?
Yeah, no, that was me. I read they had like that general outline for the script that they gave me.
Okay.
And then I read those, and I was just kind of like thinking through different ideas and just sketching little thumbnail sketches and stuff until I kind of came up with something that I liked. And this is kind of where it went here.
That's a great idea, dude.
And you can see like the words upside down, but they're upside down.
Oh yeah, right there on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's really cool. I like that because you can still tell it's Eddie because it's his clothes, the Hellfire Club, but I like how you made him his actual character. So that's wild.
Thanks, man. Yeah. And then this is the last one, issue 4. I didn't do issue 1 because they had a different artist, and that artist wound up leaving, which is how I got the opportunity to get the last 3 issues of it. And then this one, in this issue, like he has ascended. He's running the Hellfire Club, and they, the books were handed down to him from whoever the previous dungeon master was. So in this one, I kind of just wanted to be like, all right, Eddie he's ruling it. He's in his DM chair. It's the background that he was, of his basement from the TV show. And then he's kind of in his paladin armor, and he's the badass with the Dungeons and Dragons books like on his lap there.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, like he's the DM or GM, whatever it's called, Dungeon Master, right? DM. Yeah, that's cool, man. I like those a lot. I wonder if we're gonna see more of Eddie coming up in 2 weeks, or the show comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I hope they don't like try to resurrect him, but like it wouldn't be bad if they did kind of like he's a voice in someone else's head, like someone's conscience or something like that. And so you can get him in the show, but he's not like, don't break it and bring him back to life or anything like that.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna make him like come back as like some kind of vampire, I watched some wild down the rabbit hole videos, and they were like,
he comes back as a bad guy. That might be cool.
Yeah, like he comes back as a bad guy, but somehow they turn him and he helps fight Vecna. It'd be cool. Because supposedly there is a character that's like that in Dungeons and Dragons. That's the Vampire King or some. So it's, like I said, man, I don't know if it has any validity, but there was some late night little watching. So it was fun though.
Yeah, that's the whole image without
that looks great.
The trade dress and a little wider. That's the original way it was painted. So, we got questions. How did I bring an 18 by 24 to OAX? I did not. The person I commissioned it I had shipped it to him. He brought it to OAX, and I just displayed it at my table. Have I ever painted Godzilla? No, Perna, I have not painted Godzilla yet. I'll just say yet.
That's a good question, though.
I don't think I've done too many like true monsters. Like most of the monsters I've done have been humanoid monsters. I don't think I've done too many like just like straight up monsters.
Godzilla would be cool.
Godzilla would be fun, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a big piece, though, right?
It'd have to be. Yeah, right?
All right, so that is the end of the amazing portfolio that we shared tonight. So thank you for putting that together and sharing that with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Awesome. It was really cool.
I didn't know if we'd go through all of it. I was just trying to give you something to pull from, but I had fun with the art odyssey there.
yeah. I say, you know what? I was like, hey, it's just a few clicks. We'll go through it and see if we could push through, and we did. So that was a lot of fun. I love seeing art, so it's fun to see those pieces, man. So how do you balance like your creative split between working for commercial illustrations or picking up commissions from like collectors or the public?
Yeah, it's actually pretty tough, honestly. I got to the point where I had taken on too much, not too long ago, because I had taken on a bunch of commissions, and I love doing commissions. I love working with people and talking to fans and stuff like that. It's a blast. But then a bunch of clients came in that I had been trying to get, and they said, "Hey, oh, cool, let's do something." And I'm like, oh no, I've got all these commissions to do, and I've also got this client work, which obviously the client work has to take priority. And so I think I hit every deadline though, except for one person. I asked for a little bit of a delay. I was like, all right, I'll get it to you like 3 months later, and I'll give you a 10% discount, and he was fine with that. But I kind of managed to catch up a little bit in that way. But yeah, it's tough because you never know what's going to come in from clients, because they don't tell you in advance. There's no scheduling at all. They just go, hey, we need something, and we need it, a month from now. Can you do this? And then you're like, well, crap. I had all these other things I had planned, but yeah, I really want to do this. This is what I've been waiting to do. So let's do that. And then you wind up pulling all nighter, drinking lots of coffee and all that fun stuff. So it is actually a really tough balance. And then right now I'm closed for commissions, probably till after OAX. And then after OAX, I'll trying to think of a better way to do it to make it, easier for me and for the people getting commissions to understand kind of where they're at and, what's available. Because people reach out and I'll be like, no, I'm closed. But I can't remember everybody who reached out. So, but I don't want them to lose their place in line. So I want to come up with something that maybe is a little more fair, maybe some kind of list or something like that. So I'll think about that after OAX.
Yeah, you can make like an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Just date and time they reached out to you or something, and then that way you know what you got.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's and never be afraid to reach out. That's how I got mine. I reached out to Myles. Absolutely. Yep, and it was just due to us meeting each other at the show and building a relationship through me getting the sketch card commissions and just saying, hey, are you free, or are you going to be free? Not right now, but if you have any free time. And that's exactly what happened. It was like, yeah, you know what? I might be free in a little bit. And it turned out that you were, and you worked on it, had it in your schedule. It wasn't a long wait period. And again, it's amazing work. So don't be afraid to ask an artist. Don't be intimidated. They want to make money. They want to make you happy. And in the end, everyone gets to enjoy the art that you purchase if you share it. So share your art that you get. So we all get to see it. Do you approach like a commissioned piece differently than one for your gallery or store?
No, I try to approach it all the same. Obviously there's different like expectations set going in, because of size, right? So like if I'm working for Wizards of the Coast, there's something they want. It's very narrative, in that way. If I'm working for Upper Deck, there's something they want, a certain size. If I'm doing a commission, maybe it's an 8x10. You're obviously going to get something slightly different than you would with a larger piece. But beyond that, I always try to think of it the same way. It's like I'm trying to do my best on every piece I ever do, because at the end of the day, I want to make everybody happy who's put their faith and trust in me and money and all the other things. But at the same time, like, I also want to make myself happy. That's my portfolio. It's going to be shared out there forever. Like, that's my reputation. So that matters to me as well. So, I want to make everybody happy, including me. So I always try to do my best on every piece, and hopefully better than the last piece, and that's how we grow, right?
Yeah. That's awesome. And I'm happy to hear that. Gabriel, the Patreon and the website are in the description of the video on YouTube. So just click on the description and all of Myles' information is there. His Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, his website, and then also his store. So if you need any of those links, make sure to go in there, and they'll be there throughout the entire stream and anytime you come back to the show.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll keep this moving. So how do you keep your own creative fire alive when working under deadlines for clients?
Honestly, that's rarely has that been a problem, because I'm really working on what I want to work on. I know a lot of artists, when they start out, sometimes you just take whatever you can get. You're trying to pay the bills and all that kind of stuff. But because I started out having a day job, and I was kind of able to like curate more the clients that I wanted and the stuff I wanted to work on, that allowed me to get into the areas where I wanted to go. So when someone comes at me and says, "Hey, I wanted, Wolverine painting," I'm like, "Sweet, Wolverine painting." Like, I enjoy doing that. So yeah, occasionally you'll get a character where you're like, "I'd rather do this other character," but still, like, then you go, stop being an idiot. You get to like paint comic book characters, like, enjoy this, find something cool about this. What do you get to do? And actually, it's something that Dan DeSantos, that I learned from Dan. It's just like, find something that you love in that piece. Like, you don't have to love the character or the piece or even the assignment, but there's something that you've been waiting to paint that you can do with that piece. Do that and enjoy that, because you get the privilege of being able to do that, right? And so that's how I kind of try to think of it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And that's
so
fun to hear that you're having fun with it.
Piece, I'm going to find something cool that I want to do in that piece, to make it, something that I can be proud of and something that I enjoy, even though the character for me might be,
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Do you like listen to music or like a podcast, or put like a movie on in the background? Like,
yeah. So there's like two stages. There's the thinking stage, and that's music. I can't do podcasts or anything when I'm iterating on different ideas and trying to like scour my brain for what to do. But once it gets to the point where the drawing's on the board, and now I'm basically coloring, I'm painting. I can think a little more, and so then I'll put on an audiobook or or something like that, or a podcast, or or YouTube thing I'm listening to or whatever. Yeah, I go through so many audiobooks. My Audible membership just like it dries up halfway through the year, then I got to buy more credits every time.
Word. That's funny. That's funny. Have you ever found yourself revisiting an older piece?
No, I don't tend to go back. I mean, mostly it's just because of time. Like, there's no time to go back to an older piece. And a lot of times I feel like if, those pieces are gone, first of all, like, I've probably sold them. There may be some ones here that, that I haven't sold, but I think I would just start it over. I don't want to strip off the varnish and deal with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd rather move forward, than try to go back, for sure.
Okay. So that's it. Varnish is on. That piece is it. You're not thinking about it again. It's complete.
Yeah. And it's like, if I'm like, oh, I didn't really like how I did that, that Harley Quinn piece or whatever, like, okay, well, let's do a different one. I don't have to go back to that one and make it perfect. Like, maybe the next one will be better. Let's do a whole new idea.
I like that. You're taking what you learned from your previous works and implying it into, you're just improving 1% or whatever it is. You're improving on the next piece.
Yeah.
There you go. Strive for perfection.
Exactly. Always.
That's it, bro. And you are, like I said, seeing all your stages of your works. When I saw that Batman and Joker, I was like, oh man, I really like that. That's an awesome piece. Like, I was like, I almost want like a sketch card of that from you or something. I was like, I'm a Joker fan, so I was like, Get Batman out of there. I want the Joker centered.
That's me. I'm right there with you, buddy.
Oh, it's good, bro. I like that. It's a fun idea, with the fish gun, because technically Upper Deck won't let you put guns or whatever in there. So
yeah,
that's a perfect little like sneak in, and it's a
yeah.
funny
That's a story where Joker like created Jokerfish.
yes,
it's actually in from Batman the animated. It's in Batman
animated series
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. With the poison or what he uses.
The Joker toxin. Yeah.
Yes. That's I love the animated. They're coming out with a Upper Deck set for that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I grew up on that. I grew up mostly on Marvel, but my DC stuff was like Batman the animated series and stuff like that. So I love and I kind of know all the Batman related characters, but I don't know quite as many on like the Superman, Green Lantern side and all that kind of stuff. So my DC knowledge is very Batman villain centric.
Me too. Yeah, most of my influence was Batman the animated series, and then I guess Superman, because the Superman had the animated series as well, and sometimes they did crossovers, and then I think that turned into the Justice League or whatever. So like I'm somewhat familiar with that, but
Same.
I'm technically more familiar with the old school DC cartoons because they were like on when I was younger, and I think my cousin maybe watched them, and we were babysat together. So, but I remember the Legion of Doom more.
Yeah.
That. And I'm like, I want the Legion. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing the Legion of Doom in this new, James Gunn DC stuff.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. When when Upper Deck came to me for these Fleer Ultra Superman pieces, and this is one of them, and I do have more cards in this set. I was like, here are my 10 favorite characters or whatever, and my art director's like, yeah, this isn't a Batman set, buddy. Like, all right, well, give me some, some villains and stuff like that,
Yeah. Wow. So I think we got some great information there. So the King Shark will be in the Fleer Ultra Superman. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that set. Because we need OA. We need original art in our sets.
Yeah, and I think it's coming.
It is.
Based on what I'm seeing. If you think about it from like a business perspective, it takes probably about 2 years from start to finish for them to do a set, right? They're starting to like commission artists like 12 to 18 months before the set comes out, which means they were probably designing it 6 months before that. So you're talking about a 2-year timeline. I doubt they knew they were going to lose the Marvel license 2 years before it happened. So they were rushing all that product out the door that they were probably hoping to release in 2025. They rushed it out by the end of 2024, and then they're playing catch up, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to start seeing the OA coming out in 2026 now that they're finally back on track, I think. And probably the same thing for Topps as well.
Yeah, same thing for Topps. They just needed that time frame. Yeah. Regardless of the license, I want to see OA. We need OA. I'm looking forward to seeing the OA.
Coming for both of those companies for sure.
Yeah. I just personally feel it's more attainable for collectors through Upper Deck, but to each his own. But I'm looking forward to original art and whatever it is. Marvel, I love Marvel. I'm a Man-Thing guy. I love Rocket Raccoon. There's plenty of other characters I like, but I'm shifting my gear towards DC, and I'm excited for it.
I like both. And one of the things I've noticed recently, like, I love Marvel. I grew up on Marvel. This is no shade here, but Marvel has gotten, for me, a bit softer and nicer. Like they're trying to appeal more to a younger audience.
Yes.
And, for me, that's, I don't have kids. So for me, that's not a thing. I want the grittier Marvel.
Yeah. Darker tone.
Yeah, and DC, even though their writing hasn't been as good, or whatever, as far as the movies, they're leaning more into the adult side of it, and so I'm kind of I'm liking those, and I'm jumping over there and reading some more of those comics and watching some more of those movies because it's kind of, even though I don't know those characters as well, it's kind of hitting that note for me, the grittier note. So I'm enjoying it. We'll see where it goes.
Nice. Yeah, me too. I'm excited. Excuse me. Are you going to be opening up any of the Batman metal product? Jeremiah is asking.
Nope. No, I don't have any horses in that race. So, I haven't done anything for Batman metal. So, and I don't tend to open a lot of card products. I don't know if he's talking to you, but not me.
I think he was talking. I think he was asking if you were going to just be opening it personally, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I got a few boxes. I'm looking forward to ripping it. I asked Myles, I was like, hey, you don't have any sketch cards in that. If you do, maybe we'll open some.
Yeah, no, I do not.
I was just looking for an excuse to open up some Batman metal cards.
Nice.
My son will be here tomorrow, so I think I'm talking to Jeremiah. I reached out to a few other friends. I know I'm joining tomorrow night, the hobby hangout, to open up a box with them.
Cool.
That's going to be Nathan, Jesus, Jeremiah will be on there. Tim Collin, the artist who did sketch cards, will be on the stream as well. So make sure to go check out the hobby hangout tomorrow night. I think it's at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on the hobby hangout channel. And then Saturday, I think I'm going to be doing, because I got to open some boxes. I don't know if my son will be here tomorrow night. So, but Saturday he'll be here. So we'll rip him, and anyone is welcome to join. When I create the link, I'll share it with everybody who has some Batman to open or just wants to hang out in the live with us. I'm not sure the time yet. Still working that out since it's a Saturday and it's just a random stuff. Originally, the Batman episode was going to be part of the podcast, do it on like a Thursday and everything. They pushed it back so much. I was like, I'm not putting this on the schedule. And then all of a sudden it dropped and I was like, oh, all right. Well, now I just got to do like a Saturday rip or something. So we'll figure it out.
Oh, Gabriel's got a bunch of questions here. I can answer probably quickly. For licensed card illustrations, I take it you're getting paid up front, or no, you do not get paid up front. You turn in the job and then you turn in an invoice and then they pay depending on the company, sometimes soon, sometimes later. Sometimes you have to chase them down. But you get paid later. And if it's sketch cards, you might not get paid because if they don't get approved, they don't pay you. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
And when I was doing sketch cards, how many were you getting, and what was the deadline? They would offer me sometimes like 50 or so sketch cards, but I oil paint my cards, so I would always be like, nope, I'll take 10 or 20, and that's it. Because there were other things I was trying to do, and sketch cards are fine, but like I was trying to put together a portfolio of larger work to be able to get the more, the larger published pieces, like the King Shark piece that you see back here and stuff like that. So I didn't want to take all my time doing that. I really wanted to make sure that I could set myself up for the next thing I was trying to go after and continue to improve.
So let me just clarify this. So for those oil painted sketch cards you did for Upper Deck, you were getting $10 to $20 for each of those?
No. I said they were offering me like 50 cards, and I was saying, no, I want 10 or 20.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna out prices here on this stream. Probably.
No. I'm just saying that was instead. I just.
But I will say that you're not far off.
I've heard some horror stories. I have, especially I heard recently a story from an artist, a sketch card artist, and they're not getting paid at all because supposedly none of their sketch cards got accepted for one of the latest sets.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Like, what does that mean? What do you mean all of them? Like that's I don't know. That's tough. It's a tough situation. So
yeah, I never viewed it as this is how I'm going to make my living. For me, is always get in touch with a collector community, make some friends there. Work on my skills, learn things, learn about the industry, and then, then work my way towards the next step, which is what I was always, trying to do. And I still like to do sketch cards. They're fun. But I don't prefer to do them professionally. I'd rather do them for collectors now. And also because, I think the industry hasn't really caught up to what sketch cards have become. Sketch cards started out as like, this 5-minute doodle that they would get big name artists to do.
Yeah.
And now, however many years, 20 years, whatever later, you have people doing oil paintings. And so it's like, you're still kind of getting quick doodle rates to do an oil painting because we're all trying to impress, because it's our fault as artists, because we're trying to, put our best foot forward and trying to do the most impressive thing we can. But what we've done is we've created this bar that's up here now, but, the industry is still down here for the pay. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure that I know what the solution is to that, but even calling them sketch cards is kind of silly these days, right?
They're original art
cards.
Yeah, they're original art cards.
Yeah.
That's what they are to me. That's kind of what they have always been, at least since when I came into the hobby, came back into the hobby, and was introduced to them. It's to me, a sketch card is an introduction to original art and an attainable way to have it at your home,
Right.
without having a masterpiece on your wall, or even a $4,000 piece on your wall, or a some people are not at certain points in their life, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
exactly.
so a sketch card to me, and I always looked at it that way, and that's why I'll say it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Reach out to artists for commissions.
Yeah.
They're going to make money on your commission.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how they're going to make some money. And if you see and sadly, but it's true, you're going to want to look for a sketch card in a set from an artist, and you're like, wow, that sketch card's really good. That's what's going to make you want to reach out to them. So I see the both sides to the coin, to where it sucks that you're only getting whatever rate you're getting from whatever company. That may not be sufficient, but at the same time, it might bring in a bunch of commissions.
Right. Yep. And that's the way you kind of have to look at it, right?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it sucks now that artists aren't getting, AP cards. That's that's a bummer.
Yeah, that's rough
with a different company.
Yeah,
I believe they still are with Upper Deck. I just saw Tim Shin
Upper Deck's still
posted.
doing it for DC, although I think they're being a little more restrictive with how many they give out. And Topps is not doing it for Marvel, so that's it's tough because honestly, like that's one of the reasons you do it is because you can make X amount off of the AP card, versus what you make off the standard cards. So.
Yeah, I mean, the way they, these companies are promoting sketch cards are as one of ones now, and as like the hook, right? Oh, there's sketch cards in this. The artist shouldn't be getting screwed at the end of it. They should be getting fair compensation.
Yeah. Yep. You won't get any arguments from me on that one, but I did my fair share of sketch cards, and I still enjoy doing them, but it's not, my focus is more on the larger pieces now. So having fun with that for sure.
Yeah. Gabriel's asking, do you see more published pieces selling than non-published pieces now?
I mean, there's definitely the section of the market that only wants published pieces, but I don't know. I find there's quite a few people who really want something personal. This is something that that they asked for and they got, and they worked with the artist and talked to the artist about it, and there's a connection there. So I think there are definitely those original art hunters out there who are just looking for published work, and that's cool. Whatever makes you happy in your collection. But I also think there's just as big, or maybe even bigger, market of people who are looking for something more personal. So it's a balance.
Yeah, I think that market's growing.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
I think it's only going to get bigger. And I think sketch cards are, I tell people, like, oh, don't get rid of your sketch cards. Don't, maybe get rid of this out of 75, but don't get rid of that sketch card.
Yeah, that always pains me when someone opens up a pack and they just put the sketch card aside and they're like, oh, look at this out of 75. And you're like, man, that's
what
just
are you talking about, man? Like, look at that card. Who's the artist? Turn the card around. I want to know who that did that, and it's like, they don't care.
It's like, they just printed that /75 on there. The other thing is a 1 of 1.
Word. Yeah, for real. So now you're starting to see it. So I can get it. But yeah, commissions, guys.
Gabriel asked if it would be crazy if we opened a pack and opened one of my cards or whatever. That happened on the very first stream I was on. We were opening Marvel Platinum. We pulled the 1 of 1 Kang. So to pull a 1 of 1 is crazy to begin with on a stream, and to pull a 1 of 1 of my art in a stream that I was in was bonkers. That was like, the odds of that are astronomical. I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, that's insane. That is insane.
Yeah.
I had
that.
Yeah, I could only imagine. I was on a stream with Ben Brody once, and when we were on the stream together, I happened to pull one of his cards. It was a fun experience because it was like, oh, and he was on stream, I was on stream, so I was able to like record it. It was a lot of fun.
Ben is awesome. If you're not following Ben, you absolutely should be. Huge things coming for Ben. He's a friend of mine. We were actually studied together with Dan DeSantos, and tremendous artist. If you're not following him, you're missing out big time.
Yeah, make sure to go check out Ben. Follow him. He'll be a guest on Black Friday on the show,
Awesome.
which is technically Saturday in Australia. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. He just showed the Phantom piece he did.
So good.
So good, yo. Like, sick. That's one of the sickest pieces. And you know what's so funny is I know the Phantom from the Billy Zane movie.
Same.
I don't even know what the comic is, to be honest with you. I had to, like, now that I'm older, look at the comic, but I knew that from the Billy Zane movie.
Yeah, same here.
With like the 3 crystal skulls or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Funny stuff, man. So what's next for you? Any like upcoming exhibitions, new projects?
Yeah. Well, my next show is OAX
Cool.
in February. I don't tend to do a lot of shows. Like I said, I'm old. My back is not great. I had a couple of ruptured discs, so I don't like dragging stuff to shows and stuff. So I only do a couple that I feel are really important to me. So I'm at San Diego Comic-Con every year for the last 4 years, and OAX, and then I go hang out at IX in Reading, Pennsylvania, and usually Heroes Con because it's like 2 hours from where I live.
Okay.
So those are my shows typically in a given year. I might start doing some more. We'll see as things get released, coming up. Some other shows make sense for me. As far as projects, it's this year has been nuts. Man, like I said, I have so many paintings I can't show yet that I really wish I could, but I'm working with a lot of really cool companies I've always wanted to work with. Obviously, I'm still working with Upper Deck. I'm working with Wizards of the Coast, as I said. I've been talking with Tops and a couple of different divisions there, so some interesting stuff coming from that. And some other companies as well. So, I mean, things are picking up, and it's just a matter of how many things I can juggle at once at this point, because I want to do it all. There's only so much time in a day. So we'll see where it all goes. But yeah, you can definitely expect some of the things to start releasing in 2026 that I've been working on over the past couple of years. I can't wait for that. And then hopefully from there, it's kind of a steady stream as, the things I worked on 2 years ago start, coming out like that, it starts marching forward,
Yeah. Well, I think from what I heard, Superman Fleer Ultras should be coming out 2026.
Yeah, I think they said like late winter, early spring, which is like, damn, I was hoping it would be in time for OAX, which is end of February.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but maybe they'll spoiled some more stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
You never know with their release schedule, man. I mean, it's all over the place. Either it's a bunch of delays or back-to-back sets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can imagine, like, I used to run a lot of pretty big projects back in the day at my day job, and I can't imagine trying to wrangle, 200 artists and all of these designers and type people and just everything, you're trying to wrangle to do a set. So I do have some sympathy for them in that regard. So I can understand why some of these are probably delayed, because I'm sure it only takes, 1 or 2 people missing their deadline to push the project out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be crazy managing those projects with so many moving parts and contract workers and, stuff like that. And let's be honest, as an artist, I can say this: we're not always the most reliable types. I think I'm maybe a little more left brain than maybe I should be for this career. But yeah, there's just a lot going on, and and they don't, and it's not even so much that. Sometimes it's just, I got this assignment from Upper Deck, but then like here comes somebody else who also wants an assignment from me, and now I got to figure out which one I'm going to do, or can I do both, and maybe talk to one of them and ask for an extension, or something like that. So there's just a lot of moving parts for these things. So I can imagine it's going to probably be early spring if they're saying late winter.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be safe. It might be Q4 2026.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Who knows?
It's fitting that the hashtag is ramble on, because that's what I feel like I've been doing.
Yeah, there you go.
Right now.
There we go, brother. All right, we're gonna do this giveaway here. Let me share this screen. Pound ramble on. We've got 7 people in the giveaway. We've got 14 people in the live. So make sure to hit pound ramble on. Tonight's giveaway is the blank OAX 2025 sketch card. I will ship that out to you. Just if you win, please make sure to reach out to me on Instagram. with your information, and that way I could send it to you. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so we'll do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, Myles. Thank you for joining
Yeah, man, it's a blast.
and sharing this with us. Oh, Gabrielle, there you go.
Nice.
Congratulations, bro. Congrats. I will add that with your package that I have for you. Perfect. I'm glad I didn't ship that out today. All right. I got some blank sketch cards for him.
Congrats.
Awesome. Congrats. Good stuff.
Yeah, when I saw you went for like a couple hours with Palumbo, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I have that much to say, but man, we sure did fill it. we
did. Hey, when you're having a good time and you're really talking about stuff you're passionate about, it just goes, man.
Yeah.
It goes. And I appreciate the time you gave us. I know it went a little longer.
That's great.
But Myles, it's been an awesome having you on the show. Your art brings storytelling and imagination together in a way that reminds all of us why we fell in love with this hobby in the first place. For listeners, please check out Myles' work over at myleswohl.com and give him a follow on Instagram to see his newest pieces and processes and shots and cool videos he does. Go to Patreon. Please give it a follow. It's really cool. This wraps up another episode. And if you enjoyed tonight's dive into the world of fine art and fantasy illustration, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, a like, share this episode with a fellow art collector or fan. And as always, my friends, ramble on.
Cheers.